Welcome everyone to our very first spiritual questions answered session in 2026. Alright, and the topic for today is why possession cases usually require more than one exorcism, or nowadays we prefer to use the term cleansing. Yeah. So this is something that is observed, right? That in many cases, possession for possession, yeah, they usually require more than one exorcism. So for most people out there, it's kind of hard to prove. But what you can do is this, yeah, you can go and Google Father Gabrielle Amorth, right? So Google Father Gabrielle Amorth. Let me confirm that I got his name correct, right? It's Father Gabriel. Gabrielle. So, Father Gabrielle Amorth. Now, you don't know who he is, right? You can just Google. So, Father Gabrielle Amorth was on Wikipedia today, yeah, was an Italian Catholic priest of the Paulines and an exorcist for the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, along with Amorth, along with 5 other priests, founded the International Association of Exorcists. So his work in demonology and Catholic exorcism made him very famous. So he wrote a book. He actually wrote a book, right? And he wrote a book whereby he supposedly have done 30,000 exorcisms. All right. So he has done supposedly 30,000 exorcisms over his career. And to account for the high number, Amorth purportedly said that a person might be possessed by more than one demon at once, sometimes numbering in the thousands. He also attributed the number of exorcisms performed to his opinion that people have lost the faith, blah blah blah. And if you read on further, all right, he will explain that for one case, most of the cases that he handles, he have to do exorcism more than once. Yeah, so this is something that is known amongst those who do spiritual work, and especially in the case of Catholic exorcism. So Father Gabrielle Amorth is known as the Pope's exorcist. There was also a movie, yeah, if you are interested, right? There's a movie starring, I forgot his name, yeah. But there's a movie about Father Gabrielle Amorth. He is a very famous Catholic exorcist, and the movie is called The Pope's Exorcist. So I mentioned this because there's actually documentation by him, and he wrote a book, and he explained, right, that he has done like 30,000 exorcisms. And the thing is 30,000 exorcisms does not mean that he's done 30,000 exorcisms on 30,000 different people. All right, and in many cases, each person he needs to do multiple times, like sometimes tens. All right, each person, a single person, he may have to do exorcism for 10, 20, 30, many times. Now, the question is, why is this so? So I'm also saying that so here we have documentation, right, and claims, right, by Father Gabrielle Amorth, very famous Catholic exorcist. But not only he experienced it, there are many people who do other spiritual work. They will also tell you the same. All right, and today I would like to explain to everyone who's interested in topics like this, why is this so, and how can we reduce the number of exorcisms that is needed when a person is possessed. Okay, so first thing we need to answer the question, what exactly is a possession? Alright, what exactly is a possession? So now the thing is, there are different types of I would say different people may have different standards, different way to classify possession. And the way the Catholic Church define possession may be very different from the way I define possession. And I do use this term called technical possession, whereby the criteria are met, but not necessarily the symptoms that people expect show. Okay, so for me, technical possession, that means to meet the minimum standard for possession, is a spirit is already inside the person's body. Right, that's the way we understand it. Yeah, many people, right, whether a layman or not, they understand that possession means a spirit has entered the person's body and, all right, taken over the body. So to fully define it is occupied body, right, plus taken over. And of course, this would be, to put it simple, it would be evil spirit has occupied the body and taken over the body. I will use the term technical possession, whereby evil spirit has occupied the body but has not taken over the body. There are many people who have this. That means they have evil spirits inside the body, occupied the body, but have not taken over. But in general, what people understand it to be, right, would be of this: evil spirit occupy the body and taken over the body. And this is when we watch all these horror movies, and then the spirit is controlling the person and all kinds of things. All right, so that is possession. Now, there are a few reasons why many of these possession cases usually require more than one exorcism or cleansing. So I will explain what people try to do during an exorcism. Okay, so so during an exorcism, we would want to reverse this, right? The evil spirit has occupied the body and taken over the body. So the job of a priest or an exorcist, right, or a healer, by whichever tradition or ability, they have to reverse this. Okay. Now, usually in the standard understanding of possession cases, you see the person is taken over. Okay. So what happens is, okay, you have a person. All right. The evil spirit has entered the body and taken over the bodily functions. So the healer or the priest or exorcist need to make sure that the spirit does not continue to take over the person, and have to remove the evil spirit from the body. Now, okay, generally speaking, if the possession case require more than one exorcism or cleansing, maybe, all right, the exorcism or the cleansing was not done well enough. Okay, so now firstly, for some people, okay, if they're a healer or priest, what they can do is so the person is exhibiting the signs and symptoms of being possessed. All right, if you have seen people who are possessed, now unfortunately, I'm not one of those priests or healers who go around documenting their cases on video and posting them up on YouTube. Yeah. So I don't do that. I think that is very disrespectful to the privacy of my clients, because most of them, they just want privacy, right? But obviously, if you look around, there are actually people who do that, yeah? So there are people who do that, and if you see, so the person can start speaking and not themselves and speak in different voice, different language. Those are usually real full-on possession cases whereby the spirit has really taken over their body or they're doing things that they normally wouldn't do. All right, and it can be, or you can have people taking a cleaver, a knife, and try to, hack at family members, and those, of course, would be, very traumatic incidents. Now, and then the exorcist get called, the spiritual healer gets called over. Now, sometimes this thing happens. The possession cases require more than one cleansing because what the exorcists have done is they managed to stop the spirit from taking over the body. All right? But the evil spirit is still inside the body. So this can be one of the things that may cause the possession cases to require more than one exorcism. So depending on how well the exorcism is done. So if you do an exorcism and the exorcism managed to prevent the spirit from taking over the body, but the evil spirit is still inside the body, that means another episode of the evil spirit taking over the body can happen again. Understand? Right? So this can happen if the exorcism or is not done properly. It can stop the evil spirit from taking over, but it does not remove the evil spirit. So now normally the minimum that is required is you actually have to stop the possession here and you need to remove the evil spirit. Okay? So let's say there's an evil spirit inside. Right? So there's an evil spirit inside the body. Now what needs to be done is this evil spirit needs to be taken out. And then that is a real proper exorcism as how many people understand it. So the evil spirit is taken out. Now, then the next question is this. So now the evil spirit is outside. Yeah, so now the evil spirit is outside, no longer inside. The next question is, what is going to be done with the evil spirit? Once it is kicked out of the body, one is removed from the body, is removed from taking over and also kicked out of the body. So different healers, different priests and whatever they do differently. Yeah. So there are people who consider an exorcism successful the moment they kick the evil spirit out of the person's body. The only problem is if they do not deal with this evil spirit, this same evil spirit can enter again. Correct? If nothing is done with this evil spirit to ensure that it cannot occupy the same body and take over again, this thing can repeat. And no matter how many times you do an exorcism to kick the evil spirit out of the body, this thing can still happen. And this is one of the reasons why many possession cases require more than one exorcism, because for some people, the exorcism is good enough if you just kick the evil spirit out of the body. So therein lies one issue. Okay. Now the next issue, of course, so the issue here is we need to deal with the evil spirits. So now to make sure that this does not happen, all right, it's best to ensure to do something to the evil spirit to make sure the evil spirit does not come back again. Now there are of course different people who do it in different ways. Yeah, so I'm just going to share with you some of the ways that I know, and I'm going to share with you all how we do it. All right, for CordyKet and those who are trained by us at for infinity healing, right? We teach people how to deal with them on a more permanent basis. Now, so I have clients. So some of my clients come from other after having seen other healers, other masters, other sifu, whatever you call them, other healers, other priests, other exorcists. And also, for example, one client will tell me, oh, she know this, uh, she know this healer, this seafood, all right, this master, exorcist, and inside the house of the exorcist, there are many, many bottles, glass bottles, you know. And apparently, what this guy does is every time he does exorcism, he kick out the evil spirit, he will put the evil spirit inside the bottle and then he will seal the bottle. Alright? And his house is full of bottles of spirits. And he is the guardian of all those bottles. Now, the only thing is, what is going to happen to all the bottles and the evil spirits when this master dies? Because he doesn't know, he has no idea how to deal with it. To him, that's his method, yeah? He kick it out of the person, all right? And to make sure, so he's doing it properly, yeah? He makes sure that the spirit cannot come back by sealing them in bottles. Now, of course, this master used bottles in the ancient time. Those of you, if you are from a Chinese ethnicity and a tradition, the Chinese used to like to keep spirits in gourds. You know, melons, right? Natural, and then it's like a gourd, and then they keep it inside. So it acts as a bottle, yeah, but more recycle friendly kind. So the Chinese does this. So some Chinese tradition they does this. Of course, now modern you can keep in bottles and whatever, but it's not just normal bottle. You need to do something to make sure that the spirit cannot just fly outside the bottle, because spirits can walk past, walk through walls and everything, right? So they have to do something to seal the evil spirit inside. So there are some who do it this way. Now my only comment is, yeah, for those who do it this way, there is a limitation, because how much space do you have in your house, in your place, or do you need to, rent a warehouse for all the bottles? And what are you going to do, right, with the spirits? Because if the master dies, and if no one knows how to handle, then there will just be more and more bottles, right? And what happens if there's fire, break and whatever. So this is one issue. Whatever it is, what we would like to do is we remove the evil spirit from the body, and we need to make sure it doesn't come back. So this is one of the ways that we do it. Now there are many other ways. I have heard of people who are demon, what do you call it? They call themselves demonologists, or don't know, demon fighters and all. Some people actually destroy. Some people actually destroy. They have their own methods of to destroy. Now, some traditions they will send this spirit to another place. So some they will send it to hell or wherever. Now, the only thing is this. Now, as far for us, we do not do that. Okay, I'm going to share with you the way we do. Now, for us, we don't do that. So some of them will send them to different place. Some will send them to different planets. Some people will open a portal to a different dimension and whatever, and just banish them elsewhere. All kinds of methods there. So make sure they don't stay here, right? So that you cannot disturb the same person again. Now, some people also destroy, and some people will send them away. So you send them, through a portal or something, open the doorway to somewhere, and close the portal, and make sure the spirit don't come back. That kind of thing. Now, for us to share with you, firstly, we in general, this is the last option, and in general we don't do this. All right, 99.9% of the cases we do not do this. Because if you are to do this, you have to, for us, we have to ascertain, that it's really hopeless. Then this is something that may have to be done. But normally, as a healer, we ourselves, we don't do it. We leave this decision to the divine. Normally, what we do is we do something like this, okay? But what happens is normally what we do is we send most of the evil spirits to light or to heaven. All right. Now, why is this so? So there are a lot of traditions that talk about sending the the spirits to hell or to some place like hell or some horrible place. Now the problem is for us, we understand most of these hells are actually abodes of some demon lord or demon king. All right, so they're actually the place where these people reside, and sending them back there does not mean they cannot come back out, because they are just be amongst with their kind. They, a lot of them, they come back through portals or whatever. They can still come back because it's just a place where they normally reside, where they call home. All right, so some people do that. Now we don't do that. Instead, we send them to light. All right, so we'll send them to light. Because to us, a lot of them, they have the origin of light. But the origin of light is so obscured by the darkness in these evil spirits. Because over time, right, it could be over years, decades, centuries, or millenniums, thousands of years, that they evolve to be dark, and the light in them is barely recognizable anymore. But for many of them, their origin is of light. So we will send them back to light so that they can be rehabilitated and remember their light origin and return to light once more. This is our method, all right? The infinity method, this is the way we do it. And if these spirits go to light, they definitely cannot come back to disturb. So this is in general. But of course, there are many different types of entities, and the way to deal with them may differ. But in general, what we do is we will, excuse me, I'm recovering from cough and flu. So our method is we will want to make sure that if the spirit occupying the body and taking over, we will make sure that it's no longer taking over. We remove it, make sure it's outside the body, and to ensure the same spirit cannot go back and possess the same person, we send them to light, from which there is no return for them. All right. Then comes the next thing. So this spirit is gone. So let's say if this is done properly, now there is another thing. Excuse me. There's another reason why the same person might require another exorcism. There may be, all right, this person, all right, may encounter a different evil spirit elsewhere. All right, there's spirits everywhere. This person can encounter an evil spirit, and another evil spirit can occupy the body and take over the body again. And then it will mean that this person will require another exorcism. And then the whole process repeats over again. And whoever does the exorcism must make sure the second evil spirit or subsequent evil spirits, they must be sent to light so that they cannot come and return. Now, the question here will be, how do we prevent this person from being possessed again? Now, that is a very important question. All right? That is a very important question. And in general, as I observe, many people who do exorcisms, they lack this step. They lack a step to prevent repeated possession by different spirit, even if the evil spirit is properly dealt with. So, I'm going to explain how we do, or what we do, okay? Not exactly how we do, and, and why we do it. Now, before the possession can happen like this, most normal people, when we first start off, I'm so sorry, my drawing is not very good. Now, when we first start off, we actually have light that is within us. Alright, and we have a pure light of goodness in our heart. Our pure light of goodness will generate the chakras, and the chakras will generate an aura. Alright, all this, there will be a light aura. So there will be invisible light aura. So this red color here represents light. Alright, represents light. Now in general, most of us when we are born, now if our mother is of light, then the light gets passed down to the baby and the baby will have light. And this light is supposed to protect us from evil spirits. And it's supposed to protect us from possession. Now, over time, in order for evil spirit to possess a person, the evil spirit need to wear down this aura, this light aura. Okay, and they do it in many ways. Usually, as people grow older, we accumulate a lot of negative experiences. All right, and negative experience in our body. All right, will go to the chakras and everything, and it will affect our aura such that our aura is not perfect, and our aura will have holes because we have darkness within ourselves. Right? When we have darkness within us, our light is not perfect. There will be holes, and through these holes, the evil spirits can influence us. It can whisper to us. It can give suggestions, subliminals to people, to suggestions to do bad things, suggestions to get angry, to be depressed, to be sad, to be unhappy, to be irritated, to be unforgiving, all kinds. A lot of times the thoughts is not ours, so they send in some energy. We may react to it. We may think it's our own thought, and then we get more riled up. We get more angry. As we get more angry, right, we will generate a lot of dark energies. Now what's going to happen is this spirit, evil spirit, it will suck and drain the negative energies that we generated. Alright, they are evil spirits, they are dark spirits, they love dark energies. So they cause us to generate all these dark energies around us, and it will drain it, and then the evil spirit will become bigger. It will become bigger. And our light will become smaller. Our light aura will start to shrink over time. So this cycle will repeat itself over and over, right? Until this light is very, very small, and what the person is left with is the light is there's no longer aura that prevents the body from being possessed, but the person will still have light, but it's a very small light in the heart. Now, when this happens, there is no light to prevent dark from entering the body. Right? Then the spirits will be able to enter, to occupy the body, and maybe even take over the body. Alright, this is how possessions happen. So for us, there is a way to prevent this thing from repeating, and we must restore this light. Simply put, is we need to restore this light. So for us, CordyKet and those who are trained in divinity, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this evil spirit. We're going to send it back to light. And this person, alright, so this person, so when we find this person, the person does not have an aura. So what we're going to do is we're going to heal back the light and the aura. And then this person will have the light and aura again. And this light and aura will protect this person from possession by a new spirit. Alright, this is something that we ask people to do, that we do for people. Now, traditionally, the many spiritual traditions, they don't have direct methods to heal back the light, but they do make recommendations for the possession victims to pray, all right, to do more prayers or to chant more mantras. Now, if a person originally without this light does a lot of mantra chanting or prayers, now they must be prayers that are significant. So for those of the Buddhism, Hinduism tradition, right, they have proper prayers that are really mantras, and these mantras came from divine source. All right, it came from heaven, came from a source of light, came from a light source, came from heaven. Now those mantras, whatever the religion, right, in general, those mantras, if you recite and chant, you can strengthen your light. And in the traditional method, normally in the old days, people always talk about, so after you possess everything, the priest or whatever, they'll do the exorcism, which is to kick out the spirit, and they do something to make sure the same spirit don't enter the body. Then they will tell the victim to do your prayers. All right, they'll teach the victim to do prayers and everything. And the idea is when you do the prayers, this light will restore itself. Now, so the only thing is in today's world, religion is on a downward trend. It's like not just like downward, it's like nose diving. Yeah, religion is no longer fashionable. It's very considered the old fashioned, or the big word, more difficult, anachronistic. It's old time. It's just out of fashion now. Okay, so just put it that way. So most people don't pray nowadays. Okay, for us, we'll do our healing to heal the person's light. Now, if you, of course, you don't know how to do it yourself, but if you haven't encountered this case, what other people can do is you do your prayers, you do your mantras. All right, if you don't know how, please look at the our YouTube channel. I did post about the mantras and prayers that are of light. Okay, it's supposed to be out already. I think it's supposed to be on our YouTube already. All right, mantras and prayers that are of light for different religions. I did do a spiritual questions answer. I think it was last month. So that will heal the person. Okay. Now, this same person, so after we heal, it does not mean that everything is over. Now, this same person, if over time allow this to happen, same thing, allow this to happen. You generate your own darkness, and then you cause your own auric host, and then the entities will come, and then this cycle can repeat itself again. And this same person usually, maybe not immediately, if we do this, maybe several months or several years down the road, may encounter another situation, because it stopped praying or stopped meditating or stopped doing unity qigong, or like our methods. Yeah, we also do share our methods like unity qigong, light meditation, or non-attachment meditation will also help strengthen your light. Now, if this person stopped doing it, this person may encounter a situation. Now, and in general, this situation is likely to happen to people who are all right. People who are energy sensitive, or if you identify yourself as an empath, there is some likelihood, or if you actually can channel, all right, you actually can channel, or you can act as a spirit medium, very likely is, all right, spirits will be very attracted to you, and they can come and affect you again and again. If you happen to belong to any of these categories, please go to our YouTube channel. All right, there is a video that talks about, that I talk, or what can you expect and what are the things that you can do if you are an energy sensitive channel medium, or you consider yourself empath, right? You can consider, there's a video to explain things. All right, so these are usually the reasons why possession cases usually require more than one exorcism. And I dare say, all right, now, most possession cases that can exhibit this, whereby evil spirit occupy the body and take over the body, all right, especially take over the body, here, it normally happens to people who are in these two categories, and especially the medium category, especially this medium category. But for people who are channels, it can be very similar, all right? It can be very similar. So basically, channels or mediums, it can look as if, all right, these people are the ones that will exhibit the classic taken over by an evil spirit, like classic as in like in movies, yeah. Normal people who are not energy sensitive, this is not likely to happen to them. So if you belong to this category, spirits will, these two categories, spirits will always come looking for you, whether they are good spirits or evil spirits, because they know that you can interface, right? For these people in these two categories, they can interface with the spirits world very easily. All right, so the spirits will come. So these people are normally the ones, and they will normally require more than one exorcism or cleansing. Now, and the reason is because, very simple, they cannot maintain their light. They need to learn how to maintain their light. So to maintain their light, so the next question is how to maintain the light. So, and I've explained before. So normal people, they can do prayers and mantras of light. Those that are of light, yeah, I did say, not all are of light, but in general, most of those who are of the mainstream religion, as long as they're not some small sect or whatever, those may be hard to say, yeah, but the mainstream one, the prayers and mantras, if you don't know which one, just go to a YouTube video. I just did one video, I believe it was last month, about prayers and mantras of light. So you can do the prayers and mantras of light, and if you happen to follow us, we have our practices, we have unity qigong, we have light meditation, and we have non-attachment meditation. So we have our practices which we teach for free online, yeah, so that people can learn how to maintain the light. And a very basic foundation is going to be, all right, to practice goodness, all right, to be of goodness, of good values, right? You need to be of good values of light. Now, if you're not sure what I mean, I actually have done one episode, one podcast, right, dedicated 1 hour to talk about this, that evil spirits cannot touch people who are truly good, all right, who are truly good. You can watch the video again, it's on our YouTube channel. So to maintain light, these are the things that you need to do. You need to be a good person, all right, and then it will be good if you can do your prayers and mantras. And then for those of you who know us, you can do our methods that we teach online for free: unity qigong, light meditation, non-attachment meditation. Okay, so more or less I've shared. So if I were to give an overview, all right, most of these cases, they actually happen. Okay, now I'm going to come. They actually happen to people who are of these channels or mediums, right, whereby the possession will end up whereby it looks as if the person is taken over by an evil spirit. Okay, then a proper exorcism will be to make sure that the person is no longer taken over by the evil spirit, and you have to kick it out, right? It no longer occupies the body. For us, we will send it to light to make sure the same spirit cannot come back. And then we will have to make sure the light of the person is healed, so that there won't be other spirits that can come in and repeat the cycle of possession again. And it will be very important, right, for these people, right, the victims. So if you are ever a victim, or you know those people who are victims, then they need to understand, they need to learn to maintain their light. And that will mean prayers, or for us it's unity qigong, meditation, and non-attachment meditation. And the last point is also very important. You need to really become a good person. You must stop being angry and be more forgiving. And more of it is in our episode, right, that talks about evil spirits cannot touch truly good people. Okay, so I hope I managed to share with you all why possession cases usually require more than one exorcism or cleansing. And if you have any question, you can type in the chat here on Zoom, and I will take a look and answer them. All right, looks like there are already some questions there. Let me take a look. And have there been instances where it has not been a possession but a medical problem or combination of both? All right, that is a very good question. So this is a very sensitive question, yeah. So these possession cases, when it is brought to a psychiatrist, when it is brought to professional medical, allopathic medicine practitioners or Western doctors, very likely they're going to classify it as schizophrenia. So they can classify as schizophrenia, bipolar, right? If it's bipolar, and well, maybe there are other kinds of diagnosis, but basically it indicates that something wrong with their brain and mind. And it can also be medically proven for some of these people. So the doctors actually do MRI scans, right, on their brains and everything. They will show that there's something wrong with their brain. And it would seem like very compelling evidence that these people are like that because there's something wrong with their brain. Now, the only problem is they do not have the brain scan of the person when they were healthy. All right, they do not have the brain scan of the person when they're healthy. Now, to us, what is likely to have happened is this. So, most of these people who are so-called schizophrenic, they are channels or mediums who can actually interface with the spiritual world or connect with the spirits or communicate with the spirits. So they can hear voices or they can talk to all the spirits. And for the people who don't believe in such things, they will think that these people are cuckoo, right? And then they will consider there's something wrong with them. Now, so these people, when they are okay, so when they first start out with the lights and everything, they're okay, they are really manageable, just that they have these abilities and to them spirits are real. Now, if they allow situation to deteriorate until like this, and then, so this is the path of deterioration, and then they finally get possessed. Now, once they're possessed, the spirits can highly influence their brain and mind and their thoughts and everything. And then the brain, our brain is plastic, our brain will change over time. And this person, from someone who's normally very happy and positive because it was surrounded by light, right? Red color denotes light, positivity. You can become someone very dark, bad-tempered, or depressive, or suicidal, or like a serial killer. Crazy, right? Really want to kill people. Now, when from here to here, if a person stay like this very long, our brain will start to change to be like someone who's like this. Okay, and that's why. So when the Western doctors, they do MRI and whatever on these people, they will see the problem. So they have not seen it like this. So Cora is asking, have I seen cases that are, like a medical problem now? So in my line of work, when this thing happens, if we intervene early enough, that means the brain has not deteriorated until such that the neural pathways and the way the brain works tends to be very negative and very easily to hear voices or you talk to spirits, right? Then the person will very easily revert back to so-called normal, right? Will revert back to normal, their positive self. But if this thing is allowed to go on now, and there's some people that when we get to them, it's really kind of like late because they have been possessed for decades or many, many, many years, then their brain would have become like this. And should we do the same thing for them? So we can do the same thing for them, yeah? So we can remove the evil spirit, make sure the evil spirit is sent to light, and then we heal them back to light. But because their brain is still in this state, because the brain has not recovered, it takes time for the brain to get from here to here. All right, from positive to negative, and full-on conversations with psychosis and all this, right? From here to here, it takes time, right? That means it takes time for the brain to rewire and everything, and to keep on firing in a way that is like this. It takes time. But for us, we can do the exorcism and everything, all this in in, for each person, less than half an hour, right? That's how good we are. So we can do this, we turn this is all energetic. But for the brain to reverse all the way here, this might take months and years. So yes, so there will be cases where we've handled before, whereby the clients, they have gone through decades of this, and after we help them, they still, you will see as if they still have a medical condition, but to us, it's not really a medical condition, right? Because I understand, I consider myself, an expert in this matter, right? That what has happened is the brain has stayed in this state very long. And we do have cases whereby I've helped people who've gone through years of this, and after we help them with the exorcism, remove the spirits and everything, their brain was still a little bit psychotic or whatever. But over the years, I even have a testimonial from a person like that. Yeah, the person has followed our practices and our come for our retreats and so on, and the person will find that he or she will change and improve so much, such that they cannot recognize themselves, so they will begin back the recovery to positivity. So this is the bulk of the cases. Now, can there be really a medical case whereby it's very physical that cause all this? Unless someone really has brain injury that caused that, that's not due to this, because this thing is usually is genetic. It's genetic. There's a lineage. Some people is a lineage, so it basically means genetic. Some people may be a knock in the brain, and then, for example, with a knock in the brain, you can speak in multiple languages and all kinds of things, right? Become a savant. That can happen, or it can also happen this way. Yeah? But if you ask me, this is the bulk of the cases that we see. Usually it comes from this. So Wei-Ling is asking, do they possess animals as well? Now, do spirits possess animals as well? Yes, but normally the most animals, unless the animals are also, have something like this, then the animals cannot. Most of them, they are not really literally taken over. All right, like I said, for this taken over, it normally happens to these people who are channels or mediums. So, and these channels and mediums, they form less than 5% of the human population. So for most people, right, even if there is an evil spirit that occupies your body, the evil spirit cannot take over your body. But if you're very sensitive to energies, you consider yourself an empath, very energy sensitive, highly sensitive person, or that you can channel and you talk to spirits, then, this is something that can happen to you. You can be taken over by spirits. And normally I will advise, if I meet clients or channels or mediums, I will let them know, all right, and I will tell them to avoid alcohol or substances that can compromise your mind. So if you compromise your mind, then you can be taken over if you belong to these categories, right? Again, Wei-Ling is asking, does that mean evil spirits will always try to possess as many bodies as possible? So usually, what we see is, now if you are a channel or medium, you'll notice, all right, that the spirits like to come for you. And most of the spirits, if they are a little bit knowledgeable, they learn to recognize this type of people. And it's not because whether you look good or don't look good. Yeah, please watch the video on, if you are energy sensitive channel, medium, that kind of thing. Yeah, there's a video on that, right? All the relevant information is there. Okay, basically, if you belong to this category, the evil spirits will come to you because, especially for these two categories, because they know you can be taken over by them. And in general, I think it does not apply to most animals. I'm not an animal, and I don't, work specifically for animals, so I can't say what's the occurrence rate like. Cora is asking a very interesting question. Does heaven bathe the negative entity in light to cleanse them? And Wei-Ling is replying, I would love to go for that spa. So what does heaven do to cleanse them? Yeah, something like, there will be some kind of light cleansing involved. But there is, in general, once we send the evil spirit to light, they will have to go through a rehabilitation process, yeah? So they will have to unlearn their ways of darkness, right? And rehabilitate, just like people go for drug rehab, yeah? So yeah, the evil spirits will have to go for rehab so that they can rediscover the light that is within them once more, strengthen the light that is within them once more. Again, Coral is asking if the entity is sent to heaven to be back to their origin and be transformed back to light. Does that mean they're reunited with their PS? Or heaven has a HR department to figure that out too? Yes. So essentially, when they are ready, and if they have a PS, they primary soul, then they will, once they are, they have to be successfully rehabilitated first before they are re-merged back with their original soul, their primary soul, or their higher self, if they do have one. Okay. So Joseph is asking, speaking of goodness that you mentioned, there have been moments I notice I'm overly negative. I may let go of some negative energies in meditation, but to generate more positive energies is difficult. I found that using mantras plus my appreciation for the divine works better to make me more positive. I'm worried it's a crutch, but during periods of intense negativity, then what tends to endure for me would be my positive appreciation for the divine. Yes, that can work too. I feel like my work, again, that is Joseph, I feel like my work on myself is reducing the full extent of my negativity, but it doesn't feel like I'm positive. Still get cranky often. Laugh out loud. Yes. Now, obviously, for anyone who have come from this, if you want to go back this, there is, you require time and effort. Right? You require time and effort to get back here, and it's not going to be something that can happen by itself, right? So you need time and effort, and all these prayers and everything is it can be felt like a crutch, but it's something that is reliable, that you can depend on, and it's good to have faith in light. Now there is absolutely nothing wrong to go to the divine, to light, to protect you from the dark, right? If you don't want the dark, obviously you have to walk to the light. It's very simple, right? It is that simple. Okay. So are there any more questions? Oh, for the first time, Edwin does not have a question for me. Are there any questions? All right. If there are no more questions, I hope it's because I managed to answer your question very well and share with you on this topic. So thank you for joining me, and I hope I'll see you all in the next episode. If you're interested in our practices, tomorrow I will be teaching a class on Unity Qigong. It's one of our practices that can help you maintain your light, and it can even help you remove negative energies, including entities from you. All our practices can do that. Unity Qigong, light meditation, non-attachment meditation. And we teach it free, right, or donation basis online. Okay, hope to see you all. Have a good day, good night, and goodbye.